Hello and welcome to another episode of This Week in Goldmaking, presented by Darkshorecapital. My name is Andrew. Today is May the 10th, 2021. Let's get straight into it with the Weekly Standup. What has Andrew been working on for the past week? Well, we've been continuing with the BOE flipping. We did a little bit of some more aggressive approach in the past couple days. I want to try to actually do some aggressive stuff with the whole hedge fund project. You got to be aggressive if you're going to make any money with a hedge fund. So there's that. I've been leveling a new character. Engineering is kind of going to go by the wayside. There'll be more on that in the Let's Play series. Did a little bit of boosting. Got some gold from that. Next week, we're just going to keep on with more or less the same stuff. No huge changes this time around. Same deal with the things that are hanging me up, giving me trouble. Yeah, it's really just time and profession knowledge. Still working on that. So for the next part, let's do the market update. I wanted to go ahead and include the Activision Blizzard information on there as well this week. If you guys don't know, or if you care for whatever reason, you can actually go to any publicly traded company's investor relations website, and they'll usually have a subscription you can sign up for, where they'll just send you information about the company through your email. So you can sign up to that with an email and just get like stock prices in your email or when they file stuff that you might be interested in. Obviously, you probably heard about Activision Blizzard's quarterly results coming in. More on that in the next slide. But there's all kinds of stuff you can keep track of if you care about that kind of thing. Token prices in the US and the EU still pretty flat. No huge changes. I mean, obviously there's an up and down here on the picture, but realistically, 225 gold is really nothing to talk about. Still no progress yet on the market index app thing. Progress is sort of stalled at the moment on that, but it'll happen eventually, maybe. News. So a couple things I wanted to talk about specifically. So first thing, multi-boxing hardware ban. Obviously, the big news at the end of BFA was Blizzard putting the kibosh on multi-boxing software, pretty much just kind of ending it with any kind of meaningful capacity. I'm not here to talk about whether or not that's good or bad or really anything. That topic's been done ad nauseum. We don't need to talk about it. But interestingly enough, they left out in the legalese the part about hardware solutions. This is basically, you can get pieces of hardware that will replicate one key press on a keyboard to multiple different actual physical computers. And that's what some multi-boxers were still using to continue with multi-boxing as it was in the software situation. And Blizzard finally cracked down on that and said, okay, guys, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to circumvent the rules, trying to find a loophole, but no. You're still going against the spirit of what we're saying, which realistically is what I was kind of saying from the beginning when they kind of issued the decree of killing multi-boxing. There was a few vocal voices in the multi-boxing community saying that, just go the hardware route. And I was like, okay, look, you guys clearly just are kind of missing the point. It's not going to happen. So there you go. There's the proofs in the pudding. Obviously, you can still technically multi-box by just tabbing through all your different clients. And I think that'll probably stick around. I don't think Blizzard really has a problem with that ultimately. I mean, maybe if somebody comes up with a really clever way to do it efficiently in a farming sense, that might still become a problem. Because really, what they're saying here is, we don't want you actively doing things in an efficient manner across multiple accounts from one person, one human being. Now, if you just want to have a second account up on your second monitor to watch the auction house, I don't think they'll ever have a problem with that. That seems fine to me based on everything that I've seen from Blizzard regarding multi-boxing. All right, next piece of news I did want to address is actually kind of similar in a weird sort of Blizzard way. I don't know if that's going to make sense to anybody, but it does make sense to me. So, the Great Push is a Mythic Plus esports event that's coming up at the end of the month, where any team, anyone, can actually sign up to do this on the tournament realm to try and push the highest key possible over, I believe, a 48-hour period. Okay, a little bit of background. Currently, one of the items, it's not actually an item, one of the things you use in pushing high Mythic Plus keys on live servers is something called the Cardboard Assassin. It's a tinker thing, I don't even know what to call it, tinker adjustment you can use on a belt with the engineering profession. The important part, however, is that this is a thing that comes from the Cataclysm expansion, not the current content. So typically in Blizzard, I don't even know what to call it, like the way that Blizzard thinks, using stuff from previous expansions in the current expansion, bad. Don't ask me why, that's just how they think. So the fact that they actually added the Cardboard Assassin Tinker thing to the Great Push tournament realm and said, yes, go ahead and use this, is kind of a big deal because it says they're okay with it. And it's a break from the norm of how Blizzard treats things. And that's important just to know on the whole because it could signal a shift in Blizzard's thinking. It could potentially signal a shift in how Blizzard treats multi-boxing, for example. We don't know. It's just something to be kept in mind. Now, for a more actionable thing in the near term, this could mean a resurgence in Cataclysm engineering materials because inevitably people are going to see the Great Push broadcast at the end of the month. The casters will talk about Cardboard Assassins, guaranteed 100%, because every high team will be using it, so it's going to come up. And that's going to put it in the heads of some people that they need to get engineering, they need to level up Cataclysm engineering, and they need to get this thing. Now, there you go. There's your opportunity. Buy up some Cataclysm engineering materials now. Make a profit once the Great Push is broadcast. This may sound very familiar to you, and that's because the same thing happened with the Looterang. Although, granted, this will be to a much lesser extent, in my opinion, because the amount of people who used Looterangs versus Cardboard Assassins, there's definitely a disparity there. So there you have it. That's what I wanted to talk about regarding Cardboard Assassins. All right, Activision Blizzard Q1 2021 earnings. I've historically, kept track of Activision Blizzard and their company stuff. I haven't been doing so as of late. This is obviously still of interest because it's, the game that we all play and love. Maybe I'll find time during the next week to look at it and give it a more in-depth overview and update my spreadsheet, and maybe we'll make a fun thing out of it eventually, but not today. All right, we're going to go straight into Bullish and Bearish. No changes this week. Pretty much all the same stuff is up here. Haven't really made any moves or adjustments. I will just say briefly, since boosting is on this slide, that so far my predictions about boosting being a very positive thing that I think is going to be, that is like good just in general, I will say that is still my thoughts. I'm still going to give it a chance. I'm really going to, at some point we're going to actually give this a much closer look, but I think it's a good thing. I'll explain why in the future. But for now, I'm going to keep at it and, really give it the full treatment so I can give you guys the most stuff I can to talk about it. Nothing else really to talk about. Shadowlands Legendaries, I'm definitely kind of feeling that pretty good. Obviously, 9.1's coming out sometime. That is actually another piece of news that we didn't talk about. Burning Crusade officially June 1st. Which means, by powers of deduction, based on the Ian Hazzikostas Preach interview, that July 1st is the absolute earliest we could expect to see the 9.1 patch. So, we have a good month and a half plus to get our legendary crafting stuff ready if we want to. And personally, I think that that's a worthwhile investment for you to do now in preparation for the next patch if making gold is something that you want to do, which I assume is something you're interested in if you're watching and or listening to this presentation. All right, a couple questions today. Number one, any reason to stockpile augment runes on a high pop raid realm even? Yeah, so this is very similar to my thinking on legendaries and getting your Shadowlands legendary craftings up. Yeah, absolutely. 9.1's got a new raid, and there's going to be high-end raid guilds that are going to be pushing content and burning through augment runes, because when you're on the cutting edge, on the bleeding edge even, of raid progression, you want every little possible advantage you can get, and augment runes are those, and those are consumable, and they will be needed. Historically, Blizzard does eventually add a reusable augment rune. However, that is usually in the last patch of an expansion, and it is usually reputation gated behind a reputation that is released with that patch. So at the very earliest, you can expect people to start having them 2 or 3 weeks in. And yeah, so basically what I'm saying is there's not going to be an infinite augment rune coming this next patch, in my opinion. So if you want to stockpile them now, while they're probably cheaper, then yeah, that seems like a fantastic idea for a way to make some money come 9.1. Next question. What's the best class for farming? Usually I hate questions like this. However, there's a very clear answer to this one. I'm not even a farmer, but I know for a fact anyone who farms things in World of Warcraft plays a druid. They're the fastest, they have moonfire, I don't know. The answer is druid. I don't know why, but it just is. There you go. End of story. Period. End of sentence. That's going to do it for this week. I hope you all enjoyed the presentation. Bit of a shorter one this week. I didn't quite have enough time to prepare, but you don't need to know that. Anyway, my name is Andrew. Darkshore Capital is my hedge fund. I've got the Let's Play series that comes out every Wednesday-ish as well. You can check out, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to support. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to do Twitter things, or you can send me an email, darkshorecapital@gmail.com, if you want to have a more professional and private conversation regarding the deepest and darkest topics in World of Warcraft gold making. Until next time, please have a wonderful week, happy gold making, and we'll see you next time.